do tonight.
I mean, we're super live.
What?
All that just went out.
Episode 24, the cursed episode.
What? No one told me. Oh god.
There we go. This is way better. What is up, everybody? What is up? Welcome to LootCast episode 24. I went live and audio, which just wasn't there. So then I rolled it back, and then we're here again. So what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 24 of the LootCast. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Some of us are getting extra fancy on the stream tonight, and that's going to be a fantastic ride. We have a huge episode lined up. I have a few different guests and one joining later. I am graced by the presence of your player 2, Bacon Jakin, Monopulse, and Miss Squish Huntress Cynthia herself for a huge episode. We're talking about Xbox One? No, just XO2019. It occurred today, and there's a ton of news that came out from it, ton of different announcements. We have grabbed all of it, squished it down together. I'm telling you guys what you guys should care about. Pokemon Sword and Shield reviews are out, and we're going to really talk about it. Did Game Freak, did they really lie? I don't know. We're going to talk about that today. And towards the middle end of the show, we have a little sponsor known as Monster Energy, and we're going to tell you about them. It's going to be a great episode. So going into my cast, I will start with the man, the myth, the hair, the mystics, the herbal essence himself, Mr. Jake and Bacon. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic, man. How are you?
I'm doing real good. Thank you for you know what? It's rare. No one really asks me. Usually, you guys just kind of keep moving forward. No one says, Dom, how are you? You know what? I had a rough day.
Dom, how are you?
No, Dom.
Thank you.
Dom, let's talk about it.
How are you?
I did a little bit of Chris's job today. I was under desk replacing HDMI cables, sucking up
I
dust
didn't.
and stuff.
I didn't ask Dom. I didn't ask what you did.
Good
buddy.
delight.
I didn't ask what you. I asked how you are.
I'm better now. Now that I was gifted with your beautiful face.
Oh,
I
thank
thought
Put
you
a
were going to
sparkle
go
in
with
my
hair,
eye.
but I guess.
you. All of the above, right?
Yes.
And humble. Oh my god. What games have I been playing? I'm literally, dude. I think for the last 3 weeks, I've been playing the same games: Smash Brothers and Dragon Quest.
That's it? Nothing new?
Smash Quest win.
Yep.
Nothing new. I mean, I bought Reigns Game of Thrones because it was on sale. Which, if you guys have never played a Reigns game, it's essentially a mobile game that they put on the Switch where you swipe left or right, and you make decisions and you see how long you can survive. And they have a Game of Thrones edition that I think was like $2.
Very nice. So since you really haven't been playing anything new, as we move into the remainder of the holiday season
Are you
and
looking
Black
forward to
Friday,
anything?
yeah, is there anything on your on
Yes.
Jacob's radar?
Oh, dude, I'm gonna pick up. The time is right. I'm finally gonna get Spyro Reignited for the Switch.
Cool,
I'm
man.
gonna get
That's cool.
Final Fantasy 12, Final Fantasy 10, 10-2, hopefully,
Respectable. 12 is
and
bomb.
and probably Sonic Team Racing. And then I'll probably pick up. I saw you're gonna hate this. Need for Speed Heat is gonna be $30 at Walmart.
Oh, I did. I saw that. So the reason that I played Need for Speed Heat is because I have Origin for the PC, so that's how I'm playing it. So I didn't actually buy it. I actually canceled my pre-order. I'm gonna buy it physically on Black Friday.
Good man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna buy some movies. I'm gonna buy some games. It really just depends on what I see. Last Black Friday, I didn't really buy that many games. I picked up Dragon Ball Fighters for $25 at Target last year, that was
that's
like
a
the
good
best deal that I got. But I'll see if I can find something like that again. Harry Potter collection maybe.
Yeah, we did that one year. I have all of the Blu-rays somewhere over here, and I ended up getting all of them for, $30 probably. They were like a few bucks a pop at Walmart at one point. That could
I meant
definitely
the
be
game,
appealing.
but yeah, I see what you're going with. Harry Potter collection game.
The
Yeah,
game?
dude.
Like the Lego
Yeah.
games? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, he means the Lego games.
Wow.
I think it's gonna be like $25 or something.
You know, no one talks about
I just wish they were
those.
all on the cart, but I don't think they are. I think like some are on the cart and the rest are digital download.
I don't know.
Are they
All I
even
know is I'm
good?
gonna be throwing elbows, bro. Be throwing elbows. Stay out of my way.
For their
If
one
anyone-
copy of Harry Potter Lego collection.
I will Avada Kedavra you to hell and back. You stay out of my way, Grandma.
Well, speaking of abracadabras and magic tricks, what up, Mono Pulse? How are you doing today?
Yeah, you know, just turning tricks. Apparently,
I mean,
I am
you
doing
do it for
great. I'm
cheaper
doing-
now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
inflation, what
Lower
can you do?
prices,
You gotta make a
holiday
living.
season.
Yeah.
You got to give discounts.
It's
Bitches.
quantity over quality nowadays. I've been good. No, just been having a nice 3-day weekend. Birthday's coming up tomorrow. Got so much shit coming in the mail. I can't even freaking wait for it to come on through. I've got Shield coming. I've got Fallen Order. I got a turntable. Like tomorrow's Amazon day. But it's been good. I've been playing that Death Stranding.
Yes.
Just got to Port Knot City. So pretty much beelined it there, but the experience has been great so far. I know Josh has a lot to say about it. I also, when we get to a certain topic or two in here, we'll have some stuff to say about it as well. As far as what else, dude, I know last time I was like, ooh, Guilty Pleasure Diablo 3. I've been playing that all day today, and it is a completely different game than whenever it launched. I mean, it's the same. It's the same game.
When did it launch? 2009,
Like,
2012?
2020. It's been out for 7 years. Whatever that is. 2012.
What is it?
Diablo 3.
It's been out
20
for- It's been out for
2021.
14 years.
47 since the 40s. Anyway, it's a completely different game than when it came out in a good way. Still just kind of the same old Diablo thing, but the way that they do a lot, like there's a lot of stuff, enchanting, crafting, transmog, a lot of stuff from like WoW carried over into it. So it's actually been a blast playthrough.
Transmog is super. It kind of, I like it, but at the same time, it's like, they do the same thing in Dragon Quest, where like it doesn't really matter what you're wearing because you can just wear an outfit. I'm just gonna connect everything to Dragon Quest.
I
Is
see that.
Yeah, game
Yeah,
of the year.
it's all for
I changed my
appearance.
mind, by the way. Dragon Quest 11S is my game of the year. Bye. Sorry, Fire Emblem. Rip.
Transmog's not like a necessary for gaming for me. I don't really care. It's nice to have. It's not essential, but it's just nice to see that there's a lot of like modern quality of life stuff that is in there that wasn't in there before. And all the main like systems were they're completely reworked and probably reworked in Reaper of Souls. But it's actually a pretty fun experience. I'm playing a Crusader and it's been a blast so far.
That's cool. So what I'm hearing you say is Diablo
Paladin.
4, you're now really like, you're in
Yeah.
You're back.
Well,
in
yeah,
it.
we'll see what for. Every Diablo, I'm like, we'll see. I'm gonna buy it, but I don't know if they take what they did right from 3 and the art style gets grimdark. It'll be great.
What are you playing it on? What are you playing
PC.
it on?
This is what I owned it on already. I got it on launch on PC. So
Fucking bitch. Josh,
Makes sense.
Yes.
Well,
I hate PC.
well, anyways,
I'm so
Were
sorry.
you yelled at me for that?
what I got
Just
from
to
So I
that,
was-
what I
was,
got from that was a bunch of transmogs and trash mobs. Is that what you said? Trash mobs.
There's trash mobs and trans mobs.
trash mobs and launches, and there's no man more well equipped for launches than your player 2. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I didn't go to a midnight launch tonight. I thought my Best Buy was going to do a midnight launch for Pokemon. They're not, though, which honestly I'm kind of happy about because I've been stuck on exactly one game for about the past week. If you follow me on Twitter at all, you know that's all I've basically tweeted about for the past week since it came out, and that's Death Stranding. I did, however, go pick up Fallen Order a little bit ago, which
Very
I'll
nice.
install it tonight. I'll probably stream it a little bit tomorrow night, I would think. But yeah, I've been so completely absorbed by Death Stranding this past week that I've played literally nothing else. And I think it's a good thing that I'm 50 hours into the game at this point, and I'm still on chapter 3. And I know there's at least double-digit chapters for this game,
That's nuts.
so that's I'm either playing really well or really badly. I'm not sure which one. but it's a whole lot of fun.
I mean, how many hours do you have in it?
About 50 so far.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
that's insane.
It's good.
I think
It's
when I
real
looked
good.
at my save, I think it was at 15 hours.
Yeah, it's just well, and here's the thing, like the game. I mean, I'll talk about it more later because I could talk about it just
Forever.
ad infinitum. But like I'll say that because the game encourages altruism, like whenever I see that there's something I can do to improve the lives of players, I'll get totally sidetracked and I'll just do that for like 4 hours straight, and then I'm like, oh my god, I haven't done anything in the main story, and then I'll gradually get back on track. But yeah, it's probably my game of the year, probably so.
I mean, it definitely is serene and peaceful, but I am going to be
It's a
interested to
weirdly
see-
chill game for the subject matter that it's playing with.
I've found it to be
we'll talk
nothing
about
but
it.
tension, anxiety, and like horror. Like
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Has that seriously been your experience?
at least up to the point that I'm at now. Maybe it changes in a bit, but yeah, absolutely.
Which chapter are you on?
Still on chapter 2, probably getting ready to pop into chapter 3.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you've got some more dark stuff coming for sure. But I mean, don't you have moments though when you're just like, cruising around in your boots out in the middle of nowhere, and like that music sets in and the camera pulls way back that it feels more chill,
Mhm.
or is that also just anxiety?
It's
inducing for
usually
you?
after I've almost had my asshole pulled into the ground from BTs. So like, yeah, but also no.
Why are you fighting the BTs? Just sneak around them, bro.
I'm not fighting
your
them.
breath.
I
They
think
go.
he just sucks at
"Ah!"
sneaking.
they go back.
Yeah, sneak
Um,
better.
And we'll talk. Obviously, we're going to talk more about Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Later tonight and on other days. But I think my only comment to that is I wish the music would play more often. That is one of my gripes. Is I would like to maybe manually play the music myself.
Can't you in the Risk Link? I know you can while you're in the private room. Can you not do it on the Risk Link?
The
I don't know.
private room's the only way I've found it so far.
I
I'm not
think
sure.
that they're intentionally limiting it because I think they want to have those moments where they kick in the
Yeah.
right track for the right scene. So I think that's why they're like not giving you an iPod while Sam runs around. Because I was thinking the
Yeah.
same thing, and I'm betting in New Game Plus they're just like they'll be like, "Oh, you found an iPod, you
Do
can
whatever
play
you
whatever
want."
you want now."
Yeah, that
Question.
totally makes sense.
So all those highways and stuff that I've seen, is that
Yeah.
stuff that other people have built?
Yes.
That's
or
stuff that
can
you will build.
Some of it.
Yeah.
And other people will build.
I
Yeah.
don't think I'll build anything.
This doesn't really go with our topic later on, but one thing is people at launch day have a harder game experience than people after.
Well.
Yeah.
And
yes,
as
This
the
is the
game goes
best time
on,
to
yes,
play.
Yes.
If you're gonna play Death
As a-
Stranding, do it now.
eventually is it going to be so saturated with like items that like it's just
Well, Timefall should fix that because
Okay.
gradually, like you'll get notified, like, hey, a ladder near Port Knot City is about to get destroyed by the Timefall. So
okay.
Timefall is an interesting mechanic because it actually should keep oversaturation to a minimum to stop that from happening. But the thing that I think is sort of sad about if you get into the game late is right now there's like this joy of cooperative discovery, right? Nobody knows what the best path is from A to B. You're all discovering that asynchronously in this weird community online. So over time you'll figure out, yeah, there probably should be a ladder here, or oh yeah, I should build a bridge here to make this supply route easier. But right now it's like you're the pioneer of Death Stranding, right? If you come into Death Stranding 6 months from now, everyone's going to know the best routes to everywhere, and you're going to see people just building structures probably in the most efficient way to get you from A to B.
Yeah, the other thing too is it low key does put you on like a server with other players. So depending on what those players built or didn't build, like that will depend on how your adventure is. So if you get in a server that people are just extremely like build friendly, then yeah, you probably will have an easier experience. But alternatively, if you don't, then you may not. One thing that I've noticed is I just you can favorite players in like your bridge links. You can create links with them, and you'll just start seeing them more often if you have discovered them enough. Which I've done for a couple of the people that I just seen. I was like, oh, I think we're on the same wavelength. I was about to build a bridge right here, or I was about to put a ladder right here, or a rope. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna favorite you. That way, I feel like you know what I'm trying to do, and that's
Right.
kind
So
of
you're
helped
a
out
cheater.
too. Yeah, so I really
It's not cheating. It's cooperation. Okay, Cynthia. He's just on the same wavelength as another player.
exactly.
Yeah, I just really want to get to the part where I can make roads.
You're like right at the cusp. You're
Yeah.
right there. Like that like if anyone asked me for advice on how to play Death Stranding, I would say just rush as hard as you can through the main story quests for the first 2 chapters. Like, don't worry about side quests. You can do 1 or 2 if you're just curious, but don't get caught up in it because the game just like cracks wide open like a piñata when you hit chapter 3. It's great.
Yeah, I am very excited. Well, I think with that reference, that puts us into our news section. Our first story tonight involves a company kind of exploding like a piñata, but there was another one to pick up the candy. Chris, do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. There's a company by the name of Human Head who has shut down, and they are to join the staff at Bethesda's new studio. Co-founder Chris Reinhardt becomes a creative director at Roundhouse Studios. Bethesda has announced the opening of a new studio in Madison, Wisconsin, named Roundhouse Studios. It's not exactly starting from scratch, though, as the studio is actually comprised of staff from Human Head Studios, which Bethesda's announcement revealed has closed down. Now, the team will start working on unannounced projects for Bethesda immediately, and by the sound of it, no one was laid off in the process. Human Head Studios had launched its latest game, Rune 2, just yesterday on the Epic Game Store. Chris Reinhardt, now creative director at Roundhouse Studios and former project lead and co-founder at Human Head, commented, "Sadly, we had to wind down the business of Human Head Studios and close its doors, which was particularly devastating due to the passion and creativity of the teams we had assembled. We've reached out to our friends at Bethesda for help, and they saw that same creativity and passion in our team. With the formation of Roundhouse Studios, Bethesda offered every employee of Human Head a position at the new company. We are excited. Our team will remain together, pursuing the work we love as part of a company we already know and admire." Bethesda's Senior Vice President of Development, Todd Vaughn, added that while he was sorry to hear about the situation at Human Head Studios, he was excited at the opportunity to bring them aboard. He said, "We're delighted to add the entire staff to the Bethesda family." Human Head Studios was the original developer of Rune and Prey. Prey 2 was famously canceled in 2014 following a contract dispute, while the team's 2018 title, The Quiet Man, was critically panned. Bethesda also recently acquired Canadian mobile studio Alpha Dog.
So, the reason I added this story to our weekly news was A, I thought it was really interesting. But B, what I found really interesting was Prey 2, like it said at the end there, right, was famously canceled. They had a serious legal battle and falling out with Bethesda Softworks, which I thought was really crazy. So basically, the reason that they weren't able to successfully launch a game, make money, and they had to fire people and all kinds of stuff back in 2014 was because Bethesda put the foot down and they said no to Prey 2 being a thing. And then now you flash forward 5 years, and now Bethesda's kind of absorbing this company that they kind of are the reason they put them in the predicament that they are at least half a decade
Circle of
ago.
life.
Yeah,
Circle
and I just thought
life.
that was just so interesting and weird.
You never hear about like businesses getting absorbed fully. I mean, look at Activision Blizzard. At one time, Blizzard was the darling of the PC gaming community or gaming community in general at large. Activision gets a hold of them, and they've been gutted. Now, granted, not at acquisition, but still gutted. So for Bethesda to take on the full team under their wing is interesting. I don't know if they just think that the team is done of greatness or they've just got an infinite money pool. I can't imagine they do with the way that Fallout sells and Fallout First and all that good stuff is going. But I find it interesting that they acquired the whole team. I've really never heard of this. I know Prey.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Good.
Prey was
Quiet
good.
Man was
Wait, are we talking about Prey, original Prey? Or
Yes.
are we talking about Prey reboot Prey?
No, original Prey.
Okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't confused there for a second.
I heard Quiet Man was lame.
I also heard Quiet Man was lame. That's the most familiarity I really have with him. The original Prey was really good, though.
Yeah.
Plus,
And
Blue Oyster Cult for the opening credits. Not bad.
Prey 2 was supposed to kind of be even better because apparently they had showed it off at like E3. A ton of press people had played it. Like a lot of people were really excited about it, and then just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Well, That's life, I suppose.
I mean, yeah, not for nothing, but it is.
Also, side note, Alpha Dog. What's it with the mobile developers and Dog? There's Beamdog too that did like all the Baldur's Gate ports to mobile and all that good stuff. Like, is that like? Is there like some kind of like unwritten rule that you have to have Dog in your development studio to like make mobile games?
Yes, Chris.
Yeah.
It's actually it's an unwritten rule.
That's what I said.
You don't have to follow it, but if you don't, you're looked down upon as minuscule, insignificant, and some would say you're player 2 of the mobile game community.
Use your words.
Stop looking at your screen, multitasking with your stupid.
Sorry, it's just infinitely more interesting. I'm sorry. It just, what were you saying? I honestly, I didn't even
on another
hear
TV. Is that what you're trying to do?
What? No.
Just looking at his screen with his little faux
Never do
hawk.
that. I'm just trying to pay attention to.
Delivery to
Faux hawk goes all the
package.
way back. This is very clearly a Jimmy Neutron look.
Jimmy.
So anyways, I thought this was just really interesting about an acquisition that we don't typically hear about. But I am glad that I'm glad that a company that was being shut down is now being absorbed by Bethesda, and hopefully they can do really cool things with the Prey brand, since I think it critically did well, but commercially I don't think the new Preys did well at all. I know I completely skipped it because it just wasn't my cup of tea. So hopefully they do better things, because I think Bethesda needs more quality people to produce different type of games kind of outside of the Bethesda realm to spice it up a bit.
And I would wonder too, just because I feel like Bethesda's taken so many hits in the press lately. Really, it's just been like a giant circus this past year for Bethesda. I almost wonder if doing that, if they're going to publish it and maybe not acknowledge Bethesda's presence as much for anything that they work on, so they can still make dough from any new ideas or new ventures, but then maybe not get hit quite as hard by anybody who would roll their eyes at the prospect of a new Bethesda game.
Honestly, is that it? Yeah. Is this like supposed to be piece that's been passed around to the news sources because of all the backlash with like Fallout 76 and their paid service? Like, look how good we do. We acquired the studio that we almost smashed into the ground years ago with a lawsuit, but we took them all because we respect them as a development team.
Like that seems like that could be some tricky damage control to me. Like, I wouldn't put it past them. This is like, it's like the Sonic movie. Like, I'm not convinced that they didn't have the right design all along, but they were like, you know what? Let's become villains and then we'll be heroes. Like, I could see that. I think companies are craftier than we sometimes give them credit for.
Mm-hmm.
That Sonic one, though, that one, I mean, you have to be like a marketing Einstein to pull that off if that was the
it's
ploy.
Like 4D chess.
Yeah, you have to be have 4 degree, like master's degrees in sociology and psychology and marketing.
All of those inks, all those INGs.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree, Jake.
It was your player too. He was behind it all. That's how he knew.
You were the Sonic debacle?
That's a half truth. No.
Also, I want to say one thing about them acquiring that mobile developer. Elder Scrolls Blades is trash.
Oh.
Is that?
It's terrible.
Yeah, I tried
Was
it.
that
It's
them?
terrible. Was that them? Yeah, I'm curious. Has anybody played an Alpha Dog game?
They didn't make that, but just Bethesda mobile games. Fallout Shelter is okay, but it's like
you can play Fallout Shelter on a Tesla. So I mean,
can you?
You can. You can. You actually, or at least it's in development for Tesla. Yes, one of the two.
That sounds great. While your car is driving itself, you can play Fallout Shelter.
Apparently,
great way to take your mind off iRobot.
Well, as long as cruise control's on, I mean, it's probably okay.
Oh,
yeah, sure.
It wasn't covered in the story, but this company too also did have a hand in helping make Batman Origins. So just thought I'd throw that out there. I don't think I heard that.
Arkham Origins?
Yes, Arkham Origins. Yeah.
Isn't that the worst one?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought so.
It's the okayest Batman.
Things are really looking up for Bethesda.
That's the one that came to like the Wii and stuff, right?
Origins?
Yeah, the Wii U.
No, the Wii U got Arkham City.
Okay.
They got Arkham City.
That's the one I like out of the older.
Yeah, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, even Arkham Knight were good. Arkham Origins was just so soul-crushingly bland it became bad by default.
Gotcha.
I think.
Gotcha. Okay, I always forget which one's good or not. Well,
Yeah, some people love it. I wasn't one of those people.
I heard it's bad. I heard it's the worst one. But,
well, I guess that kind of puts us into our next subject, determining what games are bad, what's good, what are lies, what are truths, what you guys are here for, and that is to figure out how has Pokemon Sword and Shield been performing, what are the reviews like, what are people saying about the game. We're going to be playing it here on the channel extremely soon, probably even tonight. But before we have our opinion, we want to tell you about what the major publications are saying about the game and all the stuff that came out about them. Chris, tell us what the people are saying out there in the world.
Yes, before I dictate this 43-page report, let me have a drink real quick. All right. We have 60 reviews lined up for you guys for the Pokemon hype. Get hype is coming out tomorrow. Sword and Shield is here. Almost. With GameSpot giving it a 9 out of 10, saying with each new Pokemon game comes a new set of Pokemon mechanics and a region to discover, and Sword and Shield are no exception. The vibrant Galar region is consistent to like Galar, Gargle?
Galar?
Galar?
Let's go with
Galar.
Yeah.
We'll go with Galar. All right, so the Galar region, incentivizing and rewarding collecting and battling in equal measure, and grandiose battles add an exciting dimension to the familiar gym formula to deliver an engaging adventure beginning to end. But most notably, Sword and Shield cut down on the tedious and protracted elements from previous games in favor of amplifying what makes Pokemon great in the first place. This is the most balanced a Pokemon game has ever felt in a long time. And with that, Sword and Shield marked the best new generation of Pokemon games in years. IGN giving it a 9.3 out of 10. Pokemon Sword and Shield are closer to my dream Pokemon RPGs than anything that's come before. I still like better cutscenes, companion Pokemon, the complex Pokédex, and more visually interesting wild area, but nitpicks are just not very effective when everything else was just such a complete joy to play. The way they respect my time is wonderful, and the removal of monotony from random encounters and other odds and ends distills it down to only the pure and charming fun of capturing, training, and battling wonderful creatures. And hey, if I'm missing any tedious repetition, I can always go back into reading. Games Radar gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Thankfully, though, this is a seriously memorable Pokemon adventure. The story delivers enough twists and turns to keep you guessing, steeped in the kinds of myth and legends that let you forget the British Isles, I guess this was written in the UK, are chock full of. It might lack the puzzling areas of previous series like Silphco, but there's plenty to love about Pokemon Sword and Shield, especially the lovable cast of characters and the impeccable attention to the new region, both visually and in terms of regional dialogue. We do get from VG224/7, we do get a 3 out of 5. They are saying that Pokemon Sword and Shield is all too often a bit disappointing, and in some places actually feels a little unfinished, but it fully provides that warm and fuzzy feeling that one expects from the series. Crucially, even through frustration, never once did I think about putting it down, which is to its credit. It comes recommended almost for the Galar setting and new Pokemon alone, but with a long list of caveats indeed. With the level of fan hyperbole surrounding this release, that recommendation is worth repeating and underscoring. But it is not the revolution that was promised or hoped for. US Gamer gave it no score, stating simply, Pokemon Sword and Shield for the Nintendo Switch is a solid reminder that Pokemon will probably never run out of the stardust that helps keep it an endearing franchise for old and young alike.
Let me just say, it is set in like the UK, Chris. Like,
oh, is it?
Yeah, the map is kind of set in the UK.
The architecture is supposed to be representative of that region.
I did not know.
Also, Chris,
yeah.
Chris Levi. We start work at 10 o'clock around here. All right. If you're gonna do your weed runs, you do it before. And I don't care if you're out with your lady friends, have a few drinks, having a few smokes. That's up to you, bro. But be timely. Good to see you.
It's good to see you, Chris. That's what we're trying to say. We're glad you got back safely.
Yes.
What's up, man? What's up, Chris Levi? How you doing tonight?
Not much. I was gonna be here on time, but then the parent calls, "Hey, can you get this on the way home?" I'm like, "Okay." So I have to turn around, go do that. So I'm like, "Okay."
Sometimes you got to run and get the milk, man.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Happens to the best of us.
Your player 2 knows all about the deliveries. Gotta
Dude,
make 'em.
Yes.
Yes.
I thought he was getting honey, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. No. See a bear?
Do you mind if
Ah.
Getting honey? What are you saying? What are you saying? Josh, don't chime in over there.
I'm not. It popped in there. I didn't follow through with the joke.
I picked up on it.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
But anyway,
So back to the Pokemon.
we're doing great. Chris
Great.
Levi, great to have you. Thank you for coming in. We're
Yes.
just catching up, just to let you know, we're just catching up on all the reviews that have been dropping on Pokemon. Of course, there's been a lot of critical news surrounding Pokemon in the upcoming time towards release, but we're actually getting, and that's all been mainly fan based. We're seeing what the critics are saying about Pokemon Sword and Shield. Now, I don't know if this was cherry picked or if these came from Metacritic. Is this kind of a Metacritic vibe? What's going on here, Dom? You kind of compile these up, or is there anything that the reviewers are, critics are saying that's scathing?
No, when I went through it, I just kind of picked like the most diverse kind of like little excerpts from each of the different outlets. And I found it interesting that you had the two major ones, which are GameSpot and IGN, which I don't think anybody would argue are probably more of the larger gaming review websites that do it on video form and on the internet. And then I picked the UK-based one, which is VG247, which they basically gave Sword and Shield like a 60%. And then I threw in US Gamer in there too. Currently, Pokemon Sword and Shield sitting at an 81. So it's a similar story to like Death Stranding. There is a big swing from top to bottom as far as people's opinions, as far as how Death Stranding swayed from 6s and 7s all the ways to Masterpiece 10s. It's kind of the same story with Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I thought this would just kind of be an interesting topic to think on what the panel thought of the reviews that have been coming out of the game, what people's opinions have been. There's been a trending hashtag that Game Freak lied. Are you guys familiar with?
I think
kind
they
of
did.
The assets thing.
I think they did. I think they lied.
Yeah.
Wait,
I don't care. Like, I got no horse in this race, but I'm pretty sure that what they said was pretty much a bold-faced lie, effectively speaking.
What did they lie about? Are we talking about the asset reusage?
They were, because they were talking about like why there wasn't a national Pokédex and why so much stuff cut, and they were like, well, it's so hard to program all these new animations, new blah, 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 assets.
But didn't they use a bunch of old animations for some of these?
That's what they're saying. Nobody knows for sure because there's slight tweaks, but people have gotten down to the science of the Pokemon that said, oh, well, Sun and Moon, the little, this Pokemon did, squawk. And then they're like, well, in Sword and Shield, they did squawk. And they're like, oh, well, it's the same. So that's kind of what they've gone really in depth into it. And because Game Freak did come out and say, like, oh, they couldn't put in all the mons because of them needing to rebuild all of the same animations and things of that, people are all up in arms about it.
I will also say, though, if they do go towards some sort of like additional mons through the subscription service or whatever it is, they may be under some sort of NDA, not being able to talk about the program. And they may have to be in a position where they have to kind of fabricate a story as to why certain things aren't in the game, because they can't really talk about what is going to be fully available to customers of the subscription program or any installations after that. I'm not trying to throw them a bone, but I am saying maybe there's a practical reason for them to have to have blamed it on something or what have you.
What are you doing, Cynthia?
Cynthia?
You mischievous little elf. What are you doing?
What?
No, we just
What?
We heard something.
Can you hear me?
Cynthia, live
On the
in
road.
transit on the road. Cynthia, tell us, how's the weather out there?
Cold.
It's cold.
In Arizona, please.
When it gets dark out, it gets pretty chilly.
Don't make me laugh. It was 9 degrees here the other morning.
Part of me wants to go at midnight to get the game at GameStop and just cancel my game I already ordered at Best Buy. I don't know if I will. But as far as the reviews go,
Yeah.
I will. Well, first off, let me say this: I come to Pokemon from a very different person. Like, I think everyone on the LootCast right now, you're all pretty rabid Pokemon fans, right? I mean, aren't all of you fans of the series? Not you, Chris, Mono.
I'm not saying that I'm not a fan. It's just I've not played a single Pokemon game since I had my copy of Blue and my brother had Red.
See, you and I are actually coming from about the same spot. Like, I dabbled in Pokemon between Red and Blue and the current release, right? And my problem was, I think choice is a good thing, but I think that you can be overwhelmed by choice. And at a certain point, I just realized there were so many Pokemon and the mechanics and everything I knew about the game had shifted so much over the years that I was like, I have missed this train. It left the station without me. And I just sort of like threw in the towel on Pokemon. Not because I didn't like it, not because I don't respect it, but for me, I was just like, that's just too much. But then, Pokemon Go then Pokemon.
Josh,
Oh, go ahead.
The best thing about that is the next train will arrive in 10 minutes.
Right. And that's a perfect point, because that's where I'm at right now, right? Like Pokemon Go, Pokemon Let's Go, and now this. I feel like they've gradually given me an approachable on-ramp to come back to the series and fall in love with it again. And I will say, like, when it comes to the reviews, well, first I'll say this. There were a few really weird things that put me over the edge for purchase. Because at first I was like, do I really want to try to do this again? Like, Pokemon Let's Go is one thing, but do I really want to go to a full-blown new Pokemon that's like a mainline entry? And I was hesitant at first, but weird things put me over the edge. One is Wooloo's adorable, and the more I read up, I was like, well, that's dumb. Why does everyone like the sheep so much? I started looking, I was like, okay, that's pretty great. And then two was was it the wild area, the big open area where random Pokemon can appear, and the fact that they had a dynamic quality about it was very interesting to me, because I'm hoping it will have a Breath of the Wild-ish quality to it. Obviously, it's not going to be as big as Breath of the Wild, but two is like that it had real-time dynamic like weather effects. That was really appealing to me. I love games where you don't know if the weather's going to change, and that's a really dumb thing to put you over the edge, but I like it. I appreciate it. It's like an extra layer of realism.
And what's cool too is different Pokemon will appear in different seasons. So depending on the weather, depending on whether it is snowing or raining or whatever it is, like you'll have different Pokemon appear. Same thing with their day and night cycle. Like different Pokemon will appear in the same areas, depending on what time of the day it is and stuff too. So that's all very intriguing. And I think
Yeah, and I heard too that like apparently that's really well integrated into like your PDA or whatever you have in the game, and it'll give you like notifications, say, hey, there's an event happening right now, and it's all very streamlined and easy to make sense of. And the other thing that I found interesting specifically about the reviews was I watched a few different reviews. I watched the IGN review, and first off, I've never been the kind of guy to be like, oh, well, this publication gave this game a 10 and this game a 5. But I'm going to be that guy for a minute, because they gave this game a 9.3, and then they gave my precious Death Stranding like a 6.3 or a 6.7 or something ridiculous. Which
I can't wait to get to that topic.
Yeah, just side note. But the thing is, like, you're right. Mainstream publications have been a little bit split on this. One of the things that I do is I usually go to mainstream publications for the baseline of kind of where things are. And usually that's fairly consistent across the board, although notable exceptions have been Death Stranding and this most recent Pokemon release. But then I also like to go to YouTube and look at what a lot of different YouTubers have to say about them. One of the ones that I watched today was Game Explains review.
Yeah, and I watched that too, yeah.
And I thought it was really, like, they always do great stuff. And the thing that I thought was interesting, I expected that they would be like, oh, loved it, because their rating system is just like, like, okay, liked it, loved it, or whatever. And he was like, I liked it. And I thought it was really interesting, because he also approached it from the perspective that I would too, where he was more interested in making sure that it had a solid single-player story and that the characters were interesting and there was, like, that joy of discovery and everything. And he was less interested in the battle system, right? Or I'm assuming in Pokemon what gives it most of its post-game longevity is, battling with other players, which he said this game is basically heavily weighted towards people that enjoy that part of the experience, and maybe not so much towards people like me or him that, enjoy the single player. But the other thing, too, is he's coming with a bunch of baggage, right? This is a dude who's played, like, every Pokemon, and he knows exactly what to expect. I'm coming in cold for the most part. Like, I'm coming in basically completely unburdened by the expectations of, like, the past 5 entries in the Pokemon series. So I think I'm going to enjoy it. As far as reviews being divisive, I think it's the same thing as Death Stranding, right? I think it's just like the subjective enjoyment of like one aspect of the game versus another is influencing the review scores like wildly.
Yeah, and IGN specifically, they're the ones that not only did they get a lot of flack for their Death Stranding review, which was on the lower end, they've also been getting a lot of flack for their Pokemon review, which is on the higher end. But one thing that really stood out, and I don't know if you kind of saw this, Josh, is when you were looking at other reviews like Game Explain, or maybe you saw like Nintendo Life's review. They've all kind of had the same criticisms, which isn't negated in the IGN one either. Like, because the girl who reviewed the game, she also touched on it as well. Through her review as well, so she did touch on it. I think the major difference there is just like kind of like what you said is what position are they coming at it from? Obviously, the girl who reviewed for IGN is like a Pokemon freak, and then
I couldn't help but notice she
aren't.
dropped. Yeah, she was like, and I've played them all. I was like, okay, we get it. Just chill out. We know you like Pokemon, but give me an objective review. Is it good? If I could be so simplistic. I think it's going to be good. It looks really pretty. Real-time weather effects on my fancy sheep.
It does too. And the other thing that's really surprised me is throughout the whole thing. So when Let's Go came out, everybody was like all hyped about Pokemon being in the overworld, which just means that you can see the Pokemon. And in Sword and Shield, they're there in the overworld as well. Like not, I would say probably 80%. There are still some that are like exclamation points when you go through grass and things, but people made that such a huge deal because originally they were not going to have Pokemon in the overworld, but only in that one wild area. And now it's kind of just everywhere. But everyone's kind of forgotten that they were mad that it might not be a thing. And now that that's no longer a thing, they've moved on to another thing. And
so wait, they are everywhere, or they're just in the wild area?
No, they're in all between each route. You're gonna have Pokemon in the overworld. They're not just subjugated to just the wild area.
I gotcha.
The big thing in the wild area is that there's going to be Pokemon that are way above your level that will kill your entire team.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And you won't be able to catch them. Like, I was watching a video by Austin John Plays, and he was talking about when you go into the first wild area, there's a huge Onyx, and it's going to be super tempting, but you're going to be in the low teens, and he's like level 30 something.
That's cool. I like that.
You can kill it if you have a Sobble, and you'll get a good amount of XP, but you won't be able to catch it. So interesting.
Yeah, I'm not when a game just like scales 100%, it feels so, to me personally, it just feels super unrewarding because you're as powerful as you were in the beginning as you were at the end. I mean, you get a cool new flashy weapon, but it's all scaling. So I'm with you, Josh and Chris. You said you were in at like red and blue. I mean, I played yellow. The game I played actually maybe not most, but it was definitely the runner up was a Pokemon trading card game for Game Boy. Game Boy Color or what have you. And I played like the physical game, but I put some freaking hours into the Game Boy game, and I wish that actually continued on. I was actually super sad there was only one iteration of it. But I'm coming in cold as well. I know what I like about it, and I'm just kind of sitting back being like, wow me, or at least I'm sure I'll get X number of hours of entertainment. I'm not foaming at the mouth because some asset. I do think it's a little shady how they presented the information, but I really don't care. Got the game on pre-order. It's coming. So we'll see how it is.
Yeah, and I saw a very interesting an article that they just need to have just more controlled PR. That's really all it is they just need to have a more streamlined talk off when they get these inevitable questions that I just don't think that maybe that they were prepared for, and that's kind of why they pigeonholed themselves, because the reality is look at Far Cry, look at Ubisoft, look at every sports game in existence since forever. There's reused assets constantly. WWE this year, every Madden game, every 2K game, even Rockstar has used stuff that they used in Grand Theft Auto for Red Dead and vice versa. So I mean, it's everywhere.
Absolutely.
So
World of Warcraft, they use the same freaking pig model from 1 to level 120. Like
exactly.
Nobody's giving them beef.
So I really don't think that people would necessarily been angry well, the internet's gonna be angry no matter what. You're gonna have half the internet be angry, half of them be excited, no matter what the thing is, always. But I think that they definitely had a PR problem, and they definitely needed somebody to have kind of proofread what they could have said, not said, with the inevitable questions. The moment they announced that all Pokemon weren't gonna be there, they should have had like these prep statements to be very specific. Because they interviewed with a multitude of different websites: Game Informer, VG247, Eurogamer, and PC. Even PC Gamer I think did a write up on it, and they said something a little different to all of them because they were doing real human interviews, which is natural, but they should have kind of been prepped for those things. And Game Freak Pokemon's the hugest thing on the planet. It's the number one best-selling moneymaker on planet Earth. They should be able to afford a team of lawyers that can do these things for them, set them up, a huge marketing team. But I still feel like they operate like a small family-owned Japanese business, and they're nice, and they welcome people into their studio, and then they show them Little Town Hero, which was terrible, and then they don't prep.
Before we move on,
PR stuff.
I propose we go by here. Chris Levi, are you getting the game Sword or Shield, and what's your starter?
I'm getting Shield. Shield is actually I was downloading right now as I look over at my screen, and I'm still up to get either Grookey or a Score Bunny. I'm gonna wait till I get in the game and then let that choice be right there.
Oh, he's going with his gut. But no Sobble for you, sir.
Because I want to see how it feels when I get in the game, because I've been so long away from Pokemon and all that, and I want to get right there because, some of y'all may know, this is the second game behind Super Smash Brothers that I knew that I wanted to get a Switch earlier this year with my tax money. And I said, hey, I'm going to get it. I'm going to finally go in. I had my first Nintendo system since forever, and I was like talking to like Avedon and Studio Nintendo and even Jake and other people that would come in through Discord, and they were like telling me how good Pokemon is and all this stuff, and also selling me on the other game that I bought, which is Super Smash Bros. And I thought, well, a lot of the community's gonna be playing. A lot of people are really saying that. So let's actually jump in and actually get a Switch, get these two games, and let's have fun, enjoy this, and be able to talk with the people in the community. And from the trailers, from what I've seen, I've really enjoyed what it is, going to a new region, being in the Galar region and all this. And also even though not all the Pokemon are there, I'm not mad. I'm probably going to, when I play the game or if I stream the game, botch a lot of the names. But I'm still going to have fun. And I like how even some of the Pokemon that are the older ones, they have like different forms and the big forms and all this. And it's cool.
Very nice. Your player too, Josh, on the spot. Sword or Shield or both, or who's your starter?
Shield only and Score Bunny.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I feel that.
Yeah. What?
Cynthia
is there a
and
problem
Dom.
with Score Bunny?
Nah. No. Score Bunny's lit, dude. Literally. Dom, Cynthia, you're both gonna have Sword and Shield. I know that. I know. What's yours? What's your starter, Dom?
Team Grookey.
The Grooker?
Grookey
The Grooker?
gang.
The Grookey gang?
Merch coming
Cynthia,
soon.
who's
Plug
yours?
in. Merch coming.
Huh?
Mine?
Yep.
Sobble.
Going with Sobble. Jake, Sword or Shield or both, and who's your starter?
You know what's funny? When the game got announced, I said I'm going Shield. I'm going Sobble.
Ooh.
As time has gone on,
As I've gotten older,
as I've grown and
Older and
matured,
wise.
I looked back at how fondly I remember Sapphire, and I remember what a wise choice it was picking Torchic. So I already have Sword, and I'm going Score Bunny. Oof, I hate to say it. Ugh. I changed my mind. I've changed my mind a few times, but I think Score Bunny is the right decision. Mowing over, seeing what Pokemon are going to be at the beginning of the game and available, everything like that. I don't think Sobble's a good choice, but Sobble will be good, I guess. Well, from what I've heard, there is a plethora of water and grass Pokemon in this game.
Interesting. Myself, I am also want to go Score Bunny. I'm going Shield. But we actually talked about me and the girl here, and we might just team up on a game, and she wants to go Sobble. So it's going to be like kind of a battle to the death to see like who gets the controller, who picks the Pokemon. Is it going to be Sobble? Is it going to be Score Bunny? I guess it's whoever's stronger. So Score Bunny, it is.
Very, very nice.
I see you're a man of taste. I can appreciate this.
Yeah.
I do want to leave everybody in chat and, those watching now and potentially later, kind of just like a little PSA. One thing I will say is this has definitely been a interesting year of diverse opinions and internet outrage in very different forms for very different games. Much like you guys have heard throughout the panel, we all have a lot of love and have been heavily impressed with Death Stranding, whereas if you let your am I going to buy it be swayed by other people's opinion or outrage on the internet, you may not be able to experience something that could really be an experience of the year for you. So I'll say the same thing like I did for Death Stranding to Pokemon Sword and Shield, is if you had even a little bit of interest to play Pokemon, then if you can afford it either now, Christmas time, or later, still make sure you jump in, because you may have an excellent, fantastic game of the year type experience with it. And by letting yourself be swayed by others' opinions, whether it's outrage of not enough mons or, if Game Freak lied following trends and stuff, then you may never allow yourself to purchase and experience a game that could really be a fantastic time. And Pokemon's going to be fantastic. If you don't want to buy it, just come into our plethora of streams. I'm going to start streaming Pokemon Sword and Shield tonight, all weekend. So come in and hang out with me and see what a freaking fantastic game it is. And that's fine, too. Okay, next story, Chris.
They're going to battle me on stream.
We're going to raid
yeah, I was going to say, we need to get some multiplayer raid groupage going on there.
Oh, yeah. I want you guys
tomorrow night.
I want you guys to come peek in my tent.
Hey, moving right along.
Curry time.
We're going to make some curry. Yeah, more.
So just to piggyback off what Dom said, yeah, it absolutely has been, especially in the last quarter of the year, has been very divisive with game releases. And one of those game releases is Death Stranding. Now, I want to just kind of keep everybody in the loop on something as well. There's going to be a Death Stranding gaming rewind upcoming in the near future on 11/19. That should be a Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, with your player 2. And that's going to be Dom from the Game Looters and the Game Looters as well. We're about 20, 30, or 50 hours in, and we are ready to give some sound rewind on our experience so far and our thoughts on it in about an hour long detailed talk about it. But here's a quick example of what the internet and Kojima, the creator of the game, is feeling about the divisive reviewing. So here's Kojima's quote on Death Stranding's reviews, and I actually think I sent a tweet out on some of his quotation on this. Over the weekend, Kojima shared his thoughts on why his latest video game, Death Stranding, may be receiving mixed reviews, particularly from U.S. games press, and I would add, just your normal people too. Kojima's quote spread quickly online, but IGN has acquired an updated translation of why Kojima believes Death Stranding is receiving mixed responses in the US compared to, say, Europe or Japan. In an interview between Kojima and Italian game websites TG24, Kojima says that the American preference for first-person shooters may have affected the player's response to Death Stranding. An original translation of Kojima's response also suggested that Death Stranding was better than a shooter. However, IGN's version of the quote finds that part to be inaccurate. Here is our independent translation of Kojima's answer. This is the quote starting here. He says, "I must say that the game has received some enthusiastic reviews, above all in Europe and Japan. Here in the US, instead, we've had stronger criticisms. Perhaps it's a game that's difficult to understand for a certain type of critic and some of the public. Americans are some of the biggest first-person shooter fans, and Death Stranding is not that." In a follow-up, a representative from Sony also provided a translation of Kojima's final line in the quote. According to them, Kojima said, "In America, there are lots of FPS fans. Maybe those fans are saying this is like a different game and are not rating it very high. In either case, Kojima does seem to be saying that a cultural preference for shooters in the US may be skewing the reviews for Death Stranding, but it doesn't appear as though he is claiming that Death Stranding is better than an FPS game." I feel like that's splitting hairs a lot, but that's fine. As of this article, Death Stranding holds a fairly high 83 on Metacritic, but differing opinions are indeed strong. IGN's Death Stranding review, written by an Australian, is one of the more mixed responses. I'm going to add something in here that was said as well.
Yeah.
And that is that he also went on to say something to the effect of, culturally speaking, regions like, say, Italy or France or Europe are more culturally inclined to appreciate forms of art, whereas the US may not be ready for certain artistic expressions in video games. He says everybody in US is small brain and get better taste, basically. I mean, that was me. I injected that in there, but that was kind of his thing. He said,
although I think it would have been funnier if he had just said that, like you know what, this is just too much. Small brain Americans can't understand my vision. He just flips out.
I kind of agree with him.
I don't think he's totally wrong.
I mean, like,
most of the people I talked to who were on the fence about Death Stranding, their first question was they were like, is there even combat? Do you get to shoot anything? Like they were very singularly focused on whether or not there was combat, which is understandable, right? I mean, we're talking about a creator here who is responsible for, Metal Gear.
Maybe because his reputation in the GameStop. But if you really go back and look at Metal Gear, I'm thinking of 3 right off the top. I know.
Oh yeah.
5 there is not a lot of combat in Metal Gear.
Right. And even Metal Gear itself, like, you can go in guns blazing, but it's not advised.
Or not even not mandatory.
No,
right?
it's certainly not mandatory.
You could literally, there are some portions of the games where you may have to get physically, but even then, look, I mean, the dude has always had kooky villains, right? They were like semi-paranormal or like sci-fi or whatever, like the fear, the pain, like all that, crazy kooky crap. He's always had an artistic or sci-fi taste on even espionage sort of storylines. This one in particular, I feel like I see, and again, I've made the statement, if you reduce anything down, like a racing game with damn circle, well, why are you playing that game? You're wasting your life. You're wasting your life doing anything. Any given thing. If you look at just as you're just delivering parcels, it's like, yeah, have you seen the menus? Have you seen the physics? Have you seen how you can optimize your gear? Have you seen how there's different bridge points? Have you seen that the mechanics of this, of the gameplay is actually really, really well thought out, really well done, and actually, as I said, I had a lot of anxiety, I had a lot of anticipation, I had a lot of oh shit moments where I was like, oh god, I'm losing everything, and it's raining, and there's BTs, and yes, there was times I could look at the vista and be like, oh, I'm at peace, this world is so messed up, I want to help it. But for the large, so far in my experience, by and large, I've been white knuckle the whole time, and there hasn't, I just got hemo grenades. I just had the ability to stave off my enemy if I so choose to do so. But the point of it is that my rant here is that, yeah, the game by and large is an artistic expression. And I do think that our gaming climate is my Call of Duty, my Battlefield,
right,
and my GTA, my Doom, whatever it is. It's about the action, it's about the adrenaline, it's about the mechanics, but they can't be too. I can't have to think too much.
I mean, think about this.
If I do,
right?
I'm not having fun.
If you just look at Japan's diversity of video games, really their biggest game market is RPGs. How many RPGs over your lifetime have Japan gotten that you wish you could have, right? There's for every one shooter that comes out here, there's probably 10 RPGs that release there, and that's because typically people over there enjoy playing those style of games a lot more, right? They like rich stories and getting in depth and mechanics and really getting into nitty gritty of different style of gameplays, right? As opposed to it over here, and they're both okay, right? No matter what game you enjoy, if you enjoy it, that's all that matters. But over here, there's more of a competitive scene, right? You have competition that's introduced in games. You have the shooting, and typically, competitiveness, it revolves around either shooting or games such as League or Hearthstone. There's you could probably corner it down to these many games that the competitive scene revolves around, to where typically people go in and they just mindlessly play Fortnite, Apex, right? You have all of these style of games. So where he comes from, again, maybe the way he said it was definitely off base and wrong. And again, this is a rough translation of an Italian translation of a Japanese man speaking. So it can all be weirdly just translated wrong. But the core of it is just Americans may not appreciate the style of game that doesn't really fit a genre necessarily. Because if you had to put this in genre, where would you put this in? Action delivery, walking sim. You wouldn't do walking sim either. Like
yeah, I mean, like it's the Gran Turismo of walking simulators, according to Tim Rogers. I think that's perfectly accurate.
I love that. Yeah,
it's good.
And not just because I mean to say like, oh, it's like a really involved walking simulator. I mean because like there's mechanical nuance in Death Stranding that it's taken to an incredible degree. Like, like one of the things that a recent tooltip that I got in the game was explaining to me how I could throw an object as Sam and how the triggers basically control his individual arms. And then it went on to say, well, by the way, Sam's better with his right hand. Like they actually made the distinction and went to the others like, yeah, you get a little extra distance with that throw because he's a righty. Like, who does that in a game? Like, it's completely insane. Like that same
amazing.
sort of Rubik's Cube puzzly type, thought process extends to everything as basic as walking and like boot degradation and stuff like that. Like the whole game just like it's like a puzzle game masquerading as a walking simulator.
I mean, there's nothing that energizes me more than putting a ladder in some place where it shouldn't be and then trying to drive my bike over the ladder just to see if I'll make it for funsies. And when I do, I basically want to get up and just do like a little Fortnite dance, after I do it, because it's hype. It's a hype moment, right? You spend all that time like putting, like, can I make this happen? And then you're like, I just walked 205 kilograms of just stuff on a bike over a ladder. That it's definitely not a game that is for everyone.
No,
but I don't think his comment is necessarily off base. I think just the way it was either translated or the specific word usage on what he was trying to say there.
I mean, he could definitely come off as a bit pretentious. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's his baby though too. So like if he did, I'm not saying he said word for word explicitly what he said. We don't even know his candor. I mean, he may have just been speaking as a matter of fact. But we see a lot of like art house and art film and stuff so come out of Europe. So I'm not surprised that they would be more inclined to a game like this, and we don't tend to see that typically here, at least mainstream.
My American side comes out all the time. When those artsy fartsy movies comes out, I'm just like, oh yeah, I guess I do want a nap. You know what I mean? It happens, right? Like that might
so it may
out
just
in everybody.
It may just be as a matter of fact, but I do at some point kind of get a little even defensive myself because we hear people say, well, video games are art. Video games are art. Let's elevate video games to art, and then an artistic piece comes out and it's like it's trash, and it's like
that's something else that. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it grinds my gears a little bit because it is actually like it. All video games can be art, but this one in specific is elevating it to a place of where it is almost like a movie experience and an art form, and there's gameplay in between that. And I don't find anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it either. Like one of the distinctions I would make is like, if you make the argument that the games are movies, then this game is a film, right? Like I love the Avengers, but I think of the Avengers as more of like a movie, right? And then I think of something like The Shining or Taxi Driver as like a film, right? There's a difference there. Like one is like for pure like moment to moment entertainment, where one may be a slower paced experience, but that doesn't lessen it necessarily. It's just a different type of enjoyment, a different type of fulfillment.
The most recent example, Marvel movie, Joker film.
Right, yeah, I would make that leap as well. And the other thing that kind of gets me, that grinds my gears, I guess I would say, is that some of these people who, and I'm not trying to gatekeep here, I'm not trying to say that these people aren't true gamers or something like that, but a lot of the people who, say they are gamers and they'll take a position like, well, video games are art, are the same ones who will get upset when a game tries to aspire to that, I think, in a bigger way, right? Like they'll say video games are art, but if something goes outside the norm, like when we started seeing the proliferation of like the walking simulator, and then they take issue with it, I'm like, well, if we concede the games are art, then you have to also concede that there was a huge gamut of what you would consider to be art. Not every single piece of it is going to resonate with you. Like that's the nature of like, interpretive expression.
Is a difference between liking something and appreciating
Right. Like
So-
I appreciate the Mona Lisa, don't like it.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's for some reason very important to art.
Right, but I wouldn't review it and be like, 3 out of 10. Try again. Sorry, Mona.
Sorry. Why are you smiling anyway? We never get that.
Right. The best thing
So
you gave
what-
us was a Panic song.
What actually surprises me is that Dom, mind you, I've been giving Dom so much shit leading up to Death
constantly.
Stranding.
Every week on this show, 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah. And he now is saying that Death Stranding is probably one of his top 3 games this year.
Yeah. Rightfully so.
Number 3.
I mean,
That
I still
means-
have it very doubtful because I don't see him getting the same type of enjoyment I am. But I mean, we both play differently.
Right.
But for sure, I mean, it's one of those where like I just didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
I think he was maybe even. I think that what I said last week is like Josh was a vocal proponent. I was a cautious observer, and I think Dom at one point was maybe even like somewhat negative on it, or had a pessimistic outlook, possibly that it wouldn't be that great, or it was kind of just along for the ride and see where it went. And that's why I'm interested when we do come together, because it seems like from 3 different perspectives, we all kind of ended up at the same place where it was like, wow, this is way more enjoyable than maybe even Josh, as somebody who has been looking forward to it. It exceeded his expectations as well. So,
And I think you hit the nail in the coffin with that word right there, is expectations. My expectations is much like it seems like the internet didn't know what they were getting into, but mine were I expected this to be a delivery style game. I pick up packages, I deliver them, I get story movie style in between. I've since Kojima announced this game in 2017, 2016, whatever, I knew once the things started coming out that this is what I'm getting into. My initial thought was, I don't think I'm going to like it, just because it is, my expectations were this, I'm going to get this. Now, although I still got that, the way on which he delivered what I thought I was going to get is what blew me away. And that's why I am where I am on the game, is because I got exactly what I was expecting, but the way he delivered it to me was like, oh, wow, this is something. And it's pushed me through, I think, 25 hours I'm in so far. And
Well, after tonight, that's it. Because honestly, like, I don't think you're touching this game after you get your shield.
no. Your boy got
Like,
6 days off.
No.
and this is
No,
Cynthia's
no,
game
I
of the
don't-
year, right?
Yes, this is for sure my game of the year.
Whoa.
I mean, dude, there hasn't been a game so far this year that I've played that has given me this much joy when playing.
Even
Where
more than
I'm
Monster Hunter.
I didn't know you were that. I mean, I knew you were enjoying it,
Wow.
Cynthia, but I didn't know like you were like, yeah, straight up game of the year. I thought I was like the weirdo for that.
She stares at
No,
Norman.
no.
Makes me a little worried.
No, so like the weird thing is, like,
It's like, I get it.
I was excited for this game, for sure, without a doubt. I was not expecting to fall in love with it the way I did. But it does give me a lot of joy to play it. Now, when you said Monster Hunter, you got to remember that was an expansion for Iceborne.
That's fair.
And
Yeah, I forgot.
yeah,
that came out.
and
Yeah.
it took forever. Sorry, I'm probably gonna end the call right now because I'm gonna jump back on screen, so I don't want to like double
Okay,
mic this. Hold on, give me 1 second.
We'll see you. While we're waiting for her to transition, Mr. Chris Levi, I have not heard this, actually. Have you picked up Death Stranding? Are you?
I currently do not have a PS4, which if anybody
Have you
wants
been
to
watching
get
it
one,
at all?
But I have watched a few. I watched Josh stream it. I also jumped in the game looters. I might not have said much, but I did watch it. And when they said it was going to come to PC, I said, yeah, I'm going to get the game. I mean, I don't know as much as y'all do about the game, but it looked interesting. I wanted to see his first game outside of being, I'm not getting
Metal Gear?
Yeah, outside of Metal Gear and all that, because you think about it, you see this, how this guy, he wants to be so much with the Hollywood crowd and the way he acts. And he finally gets to get somebody from Hollywood, gets to make a game that he wants to make. He doesn't have to sit there under somebody's mandates and do like this, because I bet you the people were like, hey, we need to have some shooting there. We need to have a lot more of this, more of some of the Western stuff in there. And he wanted to make something different and made his movie which which is actually a video game, and I really enjoy what he did from what I've seen. So I'm ready when it comes to PC next year to get it on my gaming laptop and boot it up and play it and maybe share it with you all because it looks really interesting. Because it's not just it's just a walking simulator. No, I've watched people play. You gotta watch how you walk, watch what you're wearing when you walk, watch how the packages go. Because I saw somebody fall and they ruined all their packages, and I'm like, what?
Dude.
And I'm just, and then they're walking, and then this thing comes out of nowhere, and you're just like, oh, get out, gotta get out of here. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna play that.
I think that's another piece, like when I'm at work, right? It makes me like long more for the game, like when, like as I'm counting down the hours, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get home and play. Dom better not be playing because I'm gonna kick him off the fucking TV. And I mean, like watching other people post like what they're building and their experience. Like I just showed Dom a video that a friend sent me of somebody literally falling down an entire mountain. I'm pretty sure they were at the very top and they went down the entire way and it was just insane. And I was like, yeah, I mean, this is my game. I mean, it's just
that's
so
cool,
fun.
man. I like the way Death's. I mean, like we're gonna have a whole gaming rewind.
Yeah.
But I love the way Death's done in the game. I love the way things continue.
I don't think I've died yet.
Chris, really, honestly, like I'm like you. I got a PS4, but as soon as I was like, they confirmed PC release, I was like, okay, well, my 2080 Ti wants to ray trace this and make it look beautiful. It's not coming out for like ever, like summer 2020, like a hot minute.
Yeah, but I can.
That's my only beef.
For a game like that, and even though I don't have a PS4, which I might try to get one on Black Friday, but for a game like that, I really want to dive into it for myself because y'all have sold me on it. Other people have sold me on it. Seeing Miss Click stream it on Twitch has sold me on the game and all of that. Plus, it sold me on getting one of these.
Oh,
today's game Looters broadcast is brought to you by Monster Energy Drink and Norman Reedus.
I told you, dude.
Monster Energy is proud to bring you
the
game.
And another thing is Norman Reedus itself. He's one of my favorite actors of all time because just what he does on The Walking Dead and just his personality, I just dig it so much.
We lost Dom. He's losing his mind.
Did you guys hear what I said? Dom calls Norman penis.
Wow.
Wow.
Is this because you kept zooming in on him again? I told you not to do that. I explicitly said don't do it. He'll get mad.
You didn't even know
Doesn't
that
he punch you?
Yeah, you didn't even know that until
I didn't know about the punch. The punch was like by the way, I'm gonna say this and I'm not gonna spoil anything here, but as you guys continue to progress through that game, don't take any of those weird little actions for granted ever. Keep doing them forever.
Okay. So, did you notice the baby ones that I've been posting? Like, have you gotten those?
Wait, where'd you post them?
On Twitter. Oh my god!
I saw one today.
Yeah,
hold on.
Yeah, you saw one.
Was all your snowboarding posts?
What happened? That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I have seen that one.
Where
have you seen
his face turns into
baby Jakin goes into normal Jakin?
Yeah, the first one that I posted, you have to watch like 30 seconds in, so just skip to the halfway point.
Yeah, I've gotten both of these. They're upsetting.
Yeah, when I got the one with the head bashing first, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then like
did you get the feet one yet?
These are the only two I've gotten so far.
The appreciation to detail in this game.
Okay.
The appreciation to detail in this game is great because, like, I was like soothing the baby, and I was like, "Come on, baby, come on," and I was like, "Come on, baby," and like shaking, and it was like, "Hey!" I was like, "Oh my god, okay, they did program that into the game. You can't shake the baby too much."
Dom tried to make me shake it.
That's so great.
Dom trying to make me shake it, and I was like, "No, shake your own baby."
I was like, "Shake the baby, shake it."
And then like I was like soothing it, and like he like grabs your hands, stupid. He grabs my hands, and he starts doing that while I have it. I was like, "Stop!" Yeah, I mean, he was like,
my girlfriend got onto me too. She was like, "Don't you? Of course, it's gonna get mad when you shake it that much." I'm like, "I don't know. I didn't figure I didn't know the range was there, but they did. They thought of it. They put it in there, and it's little things like that I think sets the game apart in general."
Yeah.
Oh man, Cynthia, you've been like tweeting almost exclusively about Death Stranding. It looks like my Twitter feed.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Fishing for that sponsorship. Yeah, what up? What up?
So good.
That's what I'm telling you. Like, that's why I've been enjoying like coming home after work. It's like, oh my god, I get to play. So
Sorry, Dom.
excited. You know, I can't wait to either get what they have.
Eventually,
or go
they're
into
just
that
not, you know.
region.
Right.
And I mean, it's just, dude, all the like falling and tripping and all that shit. Like, that's probably like by far like one of the best things ever. I've seen people where like they've got in their trucks, driven for a little bit, gotten stuck in a ditch, and then had to ditch the truck. And like it's just little 4 screenshots.
That hurts.
I saw a funny one, and I know in no way, shape, or form give a shit about this game, but I will say that I saw a dude trip over railroad tracks and all his stuff fell off a bridge and floated down the river.
Yes,
Yeah.
I saw that one too.
Oh
I hurt my soul when I saw that. I was like, oh,
Was
and
the
then he
one
just
where they,
like he
like,
just
went right
watches
over?
it go.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
talking
it
about
just
the very
it just
top.
flows.
It like
very top,
fell.
okay.
It like fell probably like 50, 60 feet
Oh
into
yeah,
the river.
I think I
and
I
then
retweeted
just-
that one too. There was another
was
one
like,
that I
hate that.
tweeted that like literally, I don't even know where it's at. But there's a massive waterfall, and like they happen to trip off the ledge and immediately get taken off. And like when they get to the very edge, they like the fucking camera pans out, so you just see yourself like a little bean just falling over the edge of the waterfall, and then it zooms back out like where you're looking at yourself, and you're like, ah, and like you just die. Like
That's
it's-
excellent.
Yeah, it's like these videos are like the best thing ever. I was like, oh my god.
Well, you guys know what else is the best thing ever? Monster Energy. Tonight's episode of LootCast is brought to you by Monsters Energy right here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, where you can find this crazy cast of crew drinking monsters, having fun, and getting energy. Chris, tell us about Monster Energy tonight.
Well, you got to feed the beast, and if you have fed the beast, then you would know that Monster Energy stock rose the
Sponsored
day
by-
that the game we cannot stop talking about came out, and that is Death Stranding. This is coming from The Gamer. Reddit user Dumitrond has discovered what seems to be an unexpected real-life consequence of the recent release of Death Stranding. Void outs soon to follow. A significant rise in the price of stock in Monster Beverage Corporation, owned by Coca-Cola. The price of one stock jumped from $56.64 per share on November 7th to $58.16 on November 8th, which is the largest, steepest increase in about a month's time. Players will encounter a few prominently placed cans of Monster Energy drink within the first hour or so of Death Stranding's campaign, something surprising only to those who didn't pay attention to the somewhat sparse and confounding tidbits of information shared prior to the game's release. Kojima revealed that Monster Energy would appear in-game in the first real-time video release of gameplay footage, in which he briefly made use of the protagonist Sam Bridges' canteen that converts water into pure, unadulterated Monster Energy. There was nothing particularly weird about Monster before. Now, those with an affinity for the bizarre and cerebral may have found a reason to make it their energy drink of choice. This is for big brains only. If the rise in stock price is any indication, a significant number of people have done just that, whether making a single trip to their local 7-Eleven to grab a can in celebration of the game's release date, or subliminally developing an affinity that will last for years thanks to one savvy business decision. And if you can't get any Death Stranding merch anywhere else, go to your local 7-Eleven and get you a piece of Death Stranding history right here, right now. Take it away, Dom.
I passed the buck over to you. This is Josh. This is all him. This is basically I basically put in quotations. Now Josh speaks.
Oh yeah, it's here.
I should have been more ready for that. Yeah, so Monster Energy drink, like all other energy drinks, is probably not the best thing for you. And it's weird because I'm historically kind of a Red Bull guy, and more recently I cheated on Red Bull with Bang for a while because it had a cotton candy flavor. And when this came out, and I saw that Monster was featured so prominently, I was one of those people who was like, that's kind of stupid. And yet, after it did come out, I bought a 12-pack of Monster for the first time, one of which is here.
The first time
that 12-pack's
how
gone.
long? Like, I mean,
How long had it been since I had a Monster Energy drink? I hadn't had one since, I don't know if you guys knew this, there's a variant of Monster now called Monster Mule, which
No.
I liked. It's like a Moscow Mule, the alcoholic beverage. You know, it's got sort of a, what's the word I'm looking for? What does it taste like? Like a ginger kind of taste, I guess.
Okay.
yeah,
And
okay.
it's fine, but in the game, mules are my mortal enemy, so I refuse to drink Monster Mule. Now I'm going back to the green one.
Have you
but
used the blood grenades on them? Side note.
yes. Oh, what, on the mule?
Yeah.
No. Have
That's
you?
my go-to.
Oh yeah, it
That
stuns
is-
For a
them.
mule? What
Yes.
happens?
It stuns them.
It doesn't necessarily they're grossed out by it and they just start.
Yeah, I feel like they would just be like,
flipping.
ew. They would
Well,
just
yeah,
get
they're,
super
they're,
mad.
They're stunned. They start coughing up their lungs.
Yeah.
Like they're drenched.
So
in
I
the
literally wait for
blood.
them to start flooding me, and I just bomb them with one, and then
They're
when they
like,
freak out, they
yeah,
start
it's-
spreading and just pick them off. It's
So did you go
fantastic.
straight to blood grenade, or did you start
Yeah,
like lower
it's-
like turd grenade,
No,
or
no,
did you
no,
go
no.
straight for?
No, they don't get the pee-pee stuff. Okay, they
No,
go
I
straight
mean,
to
No.
the
it's
blood.
actually very effective. Like extremely. I was surprised when I saw him do it. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
And I was like, "That's my
I was
thing."
like, "They're people," and he was like, "Doesn't matter." Like, he
Oh
just
my
chucked
God.
it. And I
That's
was like,
crazy.
"Oh
They're
my
like, enjoy
God."
your hepatitis.
Yeah.
Man, that's bonkers. Like
you should try it. It's like I said, it's extremely effective.
I'm a humanitarian. Okay, I'm not bathing anybody with my blood bombs. All right, if
He's
spooky
gonna-
ghost,
he's
I
gonna do
get.
this- He's gonna do this. On
Oh,
the
he's gonna
stream.
try it.
Bet.
Yeah. Anyway,
But what I will say is, my go-to for those guys is the bola gun. That's what I do.
I like that too. Yeah.
The
That's
what?
that's one of the funnest guns I've ever used in a game. Because like whenever you shoot that thing, because it's a non-lethal way to take them
Oh, I
down,
don't
right?
have this yet.
But sorry, it's light
It's
spoiler.
okay.
You get a
Okay.
bola gun, and it can tie
Yeah, I'm
people
gonna
up.
get it. Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, and right before it triggers, like it does this slow motion effect, like right when they realize they're like this panicked look on their face, they realize what's about to happen. And I like it because they take it one step further. Like they'll struggle like a tied up little sausage person for a minute, and then you can run over and just kick them right in the face, and it's so satisfying. Because the kick too is slow motion, which is completely unnecessary. But man, I feel great every time I do it.
Oh man.
But
Yeah,
I did cut you off as you were comparing Bang versus Monster and.
Yeah, I mean like Monster's got tons of sugar in it, so it's good. Bang has no sugar in it, so it's less good. This has Norman Reedus's approval apparently, so there's a, I'm just a sucker for marketing.
I used to drink Monsters in high school. I can't anymore.
Red Bull is nectar of the gods.
Yeah,
Everything else is secondary.
I can handle Red Bulls. I can't handle Monsters.
Monster's got a way more syrupy taste. It doesn't have nearly the carbonation of a Red Bull. It tastes like you're drinking
No, it's not even that. I like the taste of it. Like I enjoy it. It's
What
just-
is it? Is the bite?
You now cannot drink a Monster without going, like leaning back while you're doing it, being just ridiculous.
Right. Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh is Death Stranding hashtag.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Clipping that.
I've always gotten really shaky. Apparently, just after I'm done drinking them, so I just
It's great, right?
don't.
You just gotta
Yeah.
strap like a bunch of kilogram of packages to your back, and then your shake will stop, and then you just kind of go.
What's the biggest Red Bull that is known to man? It's like 24 ounces.
Dude,
What is that?
24.
Massive with a little
Yeah, I used to
Yeah,
drink
it's like a
two
24.
of those a night. I used to drink two of those a night when I worked
Oh
at the pizza
my
place.
God.
Yeah.
Dude, I've had one of those in one sitting when I used to be able to drink them, no problem. I do that now, I'll probably give myself a heart attack.
Yeah, I mean it's stroke
Yeah,
city
I don't-
nowadays. I don't do that. That was back when I was like in my 20s.
We have like the mango one at
Now I
work.
go to bed at
That
9.
one.
You go to bed at 9?
I mean, no, it's 9:30, but I'm tired. I'm sleepy and cranky.
All that Christmas music Dom was playing at work.
I was off today.
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't hear
okay.
shit.
He didn't get to partake in that in the Mariah.
But there's one thing we can all participate in. And that was everything that was announced
Oh.
at
Oh,
XO2019.
That gets the
Like, where is it?
horns.
Yeah,
That gets the
that's-
red horns. Yeah. Beautiful transition. You nailed it, buddy.
Well, everything that we know that matters. We'll put it that way. Because it's all the stuff and none of the fluff here on the Game Looters, unless we're talking about Death Stranding, in which we will not shut up.
Oh, I can talk about it.
X019 kicked off with the biggest episode of Inside Xbox absolutely ever, celebrating all things Xbox with an incredible slate of news, including over 10 Xbox Game Studio games on stage, 3 brand new games revealed from Xbox Game Studios, and 4 more with premiere titles from developers around the world. Inside Xbox was also home to big news from Xbox Game Pass with 21 titles from developers in the ID at Xbox program, coming day one with Xbox Game Pass and Project xCloud, as well as for revealing great new Black Friday deals for this holiday season. Go get your Xbox One X or whatever the hell it is. I don't know. I got a PC. Read on for the full recap news from the show. So Obsidian tackles the survival game with Grounded. I saw this tweet yesterday that Obsidian was going to reveal something. I forgot to watch today.
They sure
I have
did,
no
buddy.
idea. So during the show, Obsidian debuted a trailer introducing Grounded, a brand new Xbox game preview title, which will be launching in spring 2020 with Xbox Game Pass. Studio design director Josh Sawyer and senior programmer Robbie Atadero joined us to share the inspiration behind Grounded's development before Obsidian became part of the Xbox Game Studios. We also received insight into how Obsidian is injecting narrative and RPG elements into... They're going to do that with every game they do, right? It's going to be like, we're injecting narrative and RPG elements into Minecraft.
That's them.
I don't know. Or Tetris. Anyway, Obsidian is closed by highlighting the importance of community involvement for the ongoing development of Grounded, which launches in spring 2020. Project xCloud coming to Windows 10 PCs and new markets. We announced that more than 50 new titles for over 25 of Microsoft's valued partners will join the Project xCloud public preview, such as Madden NFL 20, Devil May Cry 5, and Tekken 7. In 2020, they'll be bringing Project xCloud to Windows 10 PCs, and they're collaborating with a broad set of partners to make sure game streaming is available on other devices as well. Rare has announced its new IP called Everwild. Halo Reach is coming to Halo the Master Chief Collection on December 3rd, and the sky's the limit in new footage from Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. Get hype. I'm here for it. Is it 2020 yet? I want to be there. I didn't get into the alpha, y'all.
Oh no!
I ain't get into the alpha, y'all.
Disappointing.
Did you go in for Flight Sim Alpha? Really? Or you just pulled my leg?
Say what?
Did you really apply for the Flight Sim Alpha?
Oh, Flight Sim Alpha? Oh, never mind. I thought you were talking about xCloud. I didn't understand you.
Yeah.
You mean that
Jerk.
flying simulator? That's
yeah,
not
the
fun.
one. Yeah, it is.
Like,
I like it.
walking
Oh,
way better.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're right over my small brain. Okay.
Over it, yeah.
This is big brain time.
Yeah, big brain time here. Is Obsidian going to make any games that don't have RPG elements?
Probably
I hope
not.
They should. I want to see what else they can do.
Everwild looks like a Breath of the Wild attempt, perhaps. I don't know. At least visually, that's what I'm getting from it.
Yeah.
Rare has a very specific art style that we see now in Sea of Thieves, and it's just kind of transition to everything they do. Honestly, it doesn't look great to me, but you never know. I may like it, but I'm definitely interested in the Obsidian game for sure.
Yeah. I'm curious about the Tell Me Why game too. That looks interesting, from the studio behind Life is Strange.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
A narrative-driven game, and that's the thing. I mean, like, to me, that also looks like a walking simulator. Not walking sim. I know we've joked about that so much with Death Stranding, but I mean, like, in the vein of like Gone Home or Firewatch or What Remains of Edith Finch. Like, I like games like that don't necessarily have to have a massive amount of interactivity. If it just tells a good story and you have like just limited control over just the exploration of an environment and to have a story unfold for you, I think games can do some things that you can't really do in film or a book necessarily. Like, if you play What Remains of Edith Finch, because that's a collection of individual stories, right? I'm not going to spoil it here. If you haven't played it, I think it might be on Game Pass for free actually. But it's really tremendous the way that they use perspective or different visual styles to convey something. I want to say things, but I don't want to spoil it. If you haven't played it, just play it. It's really good. Like, I do like games like that.
So Grounded kind of reminds me. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's like Lord of the Flies meets Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
something like that.
Yeah.
Like being in
That's what
the
I'm getting
world
from
bigger
it.
than you, kind of thing. I guess it's interesting, right?
It
Alright.
does, yeah.
On a side note, though, I'm really excited that Halo Reach is finally coming to the Master Chief Collection. I'm a huge fan of Halo Reach. Cynthia and I tried to go back and play Halo Reach just on the Xbox One before it got put onto Master Chief Collection, and it was a little rough, kind of just going back to it. So I'll be interested on playing that on the Master Chief Collection, and especially I really want to play it on PC. So I'm glad to hear that that's coming around the corner, because I really want to jump back into that, especially around Christmas time. It'd be perfect.
Mm-hmm. Also, if you like Final Fantasy, they're bringing all the Final Fantasy games to Game Pass.
Yeah.
Are they really?
They're bringing all of
7
them
through 15, right?
No kidding. Is that going to
all
be just Xbox console, or is that coming to PC as well? Do you know?
I'm not sure, but when I looked up like the Game Pass to see what they announced, it showed every Final Fantasy game, and even the MMO ones. They said they want to have them in 2020 come over to
No.
Xbox.
Are we talking about Realm Reborn, or are we talking about 11?
I think all of them that they can get.
Really?
Yeah, because they said they really like. They said they really liked the people that make the games and all this. Had all this positive stuff to say about Square, and they were like, okay.
Yeah, and I think the Yakuza games are coming over too. Is that right, Chris?
Yep.
Oh yeah,
It is Yakuza. It's Yakuza 0 and like 2 others I think are coming over.
And that interests me. I've only played Yakuza Kiwami, just the only Yakuza game I've actually ever completed. And then the most recent game, my second game of the year, was Judgment this year, which is the only other game. So I'm interested to play more Yakuza games, but I don't necessarily want to go out and buy all of them. And where do I start? But if they give me 0 and the other ones on Game Pass, I'll definitely
it says Yakuza 0, Kiwami, and Kiwami 2.
Yeah. So that makes me pretty hype. Because the Yakuza 7, the new one coming out, looks really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Game Pass, man, it's just coming the best deal in gaming, man. If you got an Xbox or a gaming PC and you don't got Game Pass, you're missing out.
With how many times they slash the price on it, you're not kidding. Like,
this
is my first month.
Again.
Yeah, they said.
Oh my god!
$1 for 3 months to have it for a PC, like Xbox, even.
I think I already got that deal.
Get it and all that, and eventually you're going to be able to. Hey, you got a phone? Hey, you pay $1. You're playing all your games right here.
That's how they're gonna hook though. Well, they'll stop doing deals eventually. It'll be $14.99. But I will say this: I've had this for like, when did I start? At least back in the day, like February. I paid beginning of the year, and I've paid $6, maybe $7 so far. Wow. Like, it's been ridiculous. Like, I've had it for almost a year, and I paid like $7.
Jake, you have an Xbox tattoo on your bum, right? Why have you been so quiet?
I was saying he just got back.
Because the game releases, the announcements for Rare and Obsidian were fucking pathetic, and the Rare game, it looked like Sea of Thieves in the forest, like it was Forest of Thieves.
Oh fuck, that was shit.
Kind of for that, because here's the thing: I don't like pirates.
No, fuck, they were
doing stupid, dude. And they're like, "Wow, that was a great trailer. Wow, it looked fucking lame." And why are you making games on a if you're a first party studio for Microsoft, why are you making games that can run on a fucking cell phone when Microsoft sells a $500 console?
You don't like
why don't you pour some money into the fucking games?
Are you saying cell shading is lazy?
Dude, did you watch them?
They look, I don't like how they look. But I'm just asking, do you think cell shading is lazy?
I mean,
it depends.
I mean, cell shading in Borderlands isn't lazy.
I mean,
the Borderlands art style is not. But if you look at...
But it's all essentially the same thing. It's all cell shading.
It's different degrees.
Yeah, so wait, you take issue. What's the game that we're talking about here, Jagan?
The games from Rare and the game from Obsidian.
So you're saying it's first party studios? Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if they're making it in a place where it could work on a cell phone, like, I mean, there's a lot more cell phones than Xboxes, and Xbox isn't tied to the hardware anymore. I mean, that's the whole point of
no. What I'm saying, like, it's not going to run on a cell phone. It's going to run on consoles.
Right, but that's the thing though. Like Xbox is trying to distance itself from even being a console. Like they're trying to establish themselves as a platform. Like that's why they're pushing xCloud. Like they want you to play Xbox anywhere.
Why do they go through all the effort to have the strongest console on earth?
But is it
because that's for a specific type of consumer. Like more importantly, why are they? Is their big Black Friday sale the Xbox One S all digital for $150? They want to get consumers out of the headspace of box under your TV.
Mm-hmm. They want to kind of be in every market. The only market that I really don't see them is like making a handheld, but they're doing that through. Hey, you got your cell phone, But any market of gaming, they're basically saying, hey, you want a game? We're going to find a way to get you games.
Right,
so,
and that may be
part
of it. Huh?
What? Is it just the aesthetic of the game that you don't like?
I didn't like anything about it. The rare one, I didn't like anything about it. I thought it looked stupid. I thought it looked played out. The animals looked stupid. The art style was lame ass. The graphics were terrible. It's probably going to be boring as fuck. And I swear to God, if it's over, it's going to be. It better be on Game Pass. Because that's the only way anyone's going to fucking play it, unless it's $30.
So would you pick it up for $30?
Big mood, Jake.
No,
dropping fire.
We're
I'm
all
not
sitting
gonna
here all
play it.
happy, and then he goes.
It's on the same level as like
game he's
Death
referring
Stranding. I'm
to.
not playing
So
that game.
I actually lean towards Jacob's perspective. I'm not in that extreme camp, but neither of these really interest me. I will say that they look
for Grounded. And what's
it's
the
just
other
annoying,
one?
dude. It's frustrating because fucking Microsoft,
Bill Gates.
dude, they're fucking like.
You can talk about Sword and Shield, you reusing assets, and then you think about Rare. They do Sea of Thieves, and then they do this. Did they reuse assets? Probably.
They might have reused the engine.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a good idea.
Well, that's everybody does. Nobody makes a new engine from scratch.
If you pour millions of dollars in developing an engine, like you better squeeze more than just one game out of it.
Yeah.
Again, for Elder Scrolls series, they're still using the engine from Morrowind.
Right. It's a privilege, not a right. Don't abuse it to that degree.
Right. Yeah. Or just, the one that uses an engine that I think needs to be updated is Bethesda. Because when Fallout broken games,
it's starting to show its age. I think.
Yeah.
I think it was showing its age like 6 years ago.
You're not wrong, Josh.
Well,
it was Skyrim. Yeah.
So one thing I will say that I am kind of on the same page as Jake is what we haven't seen from Xbox and their team is just a game that blows us away. Like they have Bleeding Edge. They just announced these 2 brand new games. They're announcing their plans for Game Pass and stuff. But where's the It game, right? Where's the PlayStation constantly has Death Stranding, Spider-Man, even Detroit Become Human, I would argue, God of War. Where's
they're looking at is Halo, man.
I know.
Yeah,
that's
Xbox.
2020.
That's the thing.
That's the way to go.
This is what's so frustrating about Xbox. It's turning into like Redbox. Like Redbox, it's the Redbox of the gaming industry. Where like you pay a little bit, you play some games, you download them, and then you like never touch them again. And they shovel like deals down your fucking throat, but they never actually give you anything new that's like substantial. They're just reusing shit that other people have made, and they're not actually putting out any quality games that they've made other than Outer Worlds, which isn't really theirs because that game was already done by the time they actually bought Obsidian. And,
they did acquire a bunch of studios, though. Like, I think that argument would be better suited to Stadia than Microsoft now. I think Microsoft's going to surprise you.
Nobody gives a shit about Stadia, though. Stadia's not even in the conversation.
But they perfectly fit what you just said. Like, they have almost no exclusives of their own.
Yeah, because even if a game...
Does Stadia have an exclusive? Sorry, go ahead.
They'll have Guilt, but I don't think that drops till like February or March.
Even if Xbox is reusing a lot of games that come in there, they're at least putting out, even if it's reusing assets or the art style may not be for you, people like Jake, at least they're putting something new out there when you got Stadia coming at you with this big high price point and all that to start into it, and they're giving you Destiny 2. How long was that release? And they're pushing that as their big game. And it's like, come on, give me something to make me want to do that. And then I look online today, and a lot of the features that you want day one aren't going to be there. People that pre-order the game might not get it the day that they said they're going to get it, might hold it off because, oh, you didn't pre-order when this person did, so you get it later. I'm like, come on.
Don't get me wrong.
Big gripe though is they're just not doing anything with a lot of the already existing IPs that they have, like what D-Dub was saying in chat, like Banjo, or they've been sitting on the Perfect Dark IP forever. I mean, goddamn, they're sitting on the Golden Eye IP right now. They're sitting on all these existing IPs that they've had.
True.
Even Mechasol, give us a freaking Mecha, do whatever you want. They're just sitting on a ton of different IPs that people have been clamoring for. But then they say, well, where's it going to give you this frou-frou game? And you're just like, well, this isn't it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. I made it sound like I like Game Pass. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Where my attitude comes from is purely born out of frustration with Microsoft. Because I think they're so underachieving that it makes me sick.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole thing. Is that they could be so much better than they are.
Microsoft's problem has always been execution of good ideas, in my opinion. They've always had enterprise, right? Like data centers, blah 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 blah. Offices, like everybody runs a Windows environment. Offices more often than not, right? Except for your Linux servers and whatever is running on the server platform. They've always had enterprise, and they want to branch into the phone market. They want to branch into gaming. They want to branch into social media. They want to branch into XYZ, whatever it is. They have really cool ideas. Like I really like the concept of Game Pass, and I really like the concept of xCloud and what have you. Or oh yeah, here's your Xbox device. But I feel like they have a good idea. It's like here's your Xbox device that can do everything, but it can't do anything well. Right? So, like party chat is it's always the execution. Instead of just like executing good ideas, but making sure they're like niche ideas to make sure that they do what they're supposed to do, kind of thing. Like my experience with Xbox party matching has been the most god-awful bullshit I have ever dealt with. It is atrocious. In the year of our Lord 2019, it is the worst. Like I could go onto Facebook Messenger and have a better party experience than I could going onto Xbox.
What's worse is it's always with us.
And it's just basic stuff. It's just basic stuff that they just screw up.
I tried to play Friday the 13th with y'all back in October, and you saw how hard it was for me to get in there. I tried on my Xbox, I tried on my PC, and I'm just like, come on, Xbox.
So my problem is they do xCloud. They better be all freaking in on xCloud. Because if they half-ass it, it's going to be another thing that's like, great idea, poor execution, and they will need to get, like Dom said, where are the exclusives? They're going to need something to propel this beyond just a streaming service.
Yeah, because they got these cool games, but they only got one game releasing in the next year, which is Halo. That's really pushing the boundaries of showing graphical this, graphical that. I mean, they had Gears 5, which is cool and all that, but Halo's the only game that's showing bam. You got PlayStation over here that's doing Last of Us and these other games that are pushing their console to the brink to show, hey, this is how we can do graphic. This is what we can do gameplay wise, and all that Xbox was getting all these companies saying, oh, we only got Halo. And I understand what y'all say when because I just want to mention this, standing on all these IPs. Hey, Xbox, you got all these new studios. Why don't you go to Rare and say, hey, you're sitting on this. Why don't we just give one of your team up with somebody else and give one of the IPs to them and let them work? See what they could do with that.
I agree.
And I will say that I'm much more critical of the Rare IP than I am of the Obsidian. The Obsidian one, I don't have the same issue with the graphics and everything like that. Yeah, what it was a small team working like while other people were working, and they've only been doing it I think they've been working on it for about a year. The problem I have with the Obsidian IP is that it's such a played out idea. I don't know if you guys watched it, but basically you're shrunk down to the size of an ant, and you're in a backyard, and you're trying to survive. Yeah. Like there's movies about that. There's games about that.
That's what I said. It's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's Pikmin. Isn't Pikmin just like that? Like you're in a garden?
Sort of.
Something similar, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it'd be okay. I'll probably play it if it's on Game Pass.
I mean, dude, I think it's okay for these games to exist. My thing is they continually hold these events like XO 2019, or they go to E3, and they just don't leave us craving the Xbox branding in some capacity. Like if they went on stage today and they showed us like, here's this big game that's coming to the next box, whatever that next box is, and then whatever the next Xbox is, and then here's these other 2 games that are coming in the next 12 months to Game Pass or whatever. That would have been absorbable because you know that there's this huge 10-pull AAA game that's going to be coming that you need to go and get an Xbox for. But all the games they continue to show, like, I'm in the ecosystem. I'll play them still, and I may love them, right? I love State of Decay 2. It's one of my favorite games last year. I would have never played that game, if I wasn't already in the ecosystem, So I'm not saying that these games can't be an experience of the year. I just think that they need that thing to really get people in and get them excited to be a Xbox owner. And I just feel like they're not showing up to plate, and it's been proven time and time again that games are what matter, not the systems, not the innovations. It's the video game. If you're in the video game market, you need video games. You need really great products to put, or software to put on your product, and that's kind of a period at the end. Switch is proving it right now. Switch has gone and become my favorite system. I own like 50 Switch games, and it's fantastic. The PS4, again, they've been giving us Persona, Judgment, God of War, Spider-Man. They're going to give us Last of Us 2. Games you can't get anywhere else. If you're a PS4 owner, you're bathing in games that are just 10s. But if you're an Xbox owner, you're like, well, I got Halo. I got the Gears. It's like, what the hell? Like, come on, Xbox, what are you guys doing? Give us something to look forward to. And they're just not succeeding there. And it's saddening because I like the Xbox platform. I like Phil Spencer. I've loved the Xbox. I love the controller. Like, I like the, UI constantly changes, but for the most part, I tend to like it. It's disappointing. It's just disappointing.
I totally agree with what you're saying right there. It's kind of like we're coming to a consensus. Like, you've got your Gears, you've got your Halo, you got your Forza, right? That's always going to be there. And you've got all these companies they're buying. But where are they showing their God of War? Where are they showing their Spider-Man? Where are they showing their Persona? Where's their Mario? Where's their Zelda? And they don't got it. They're going on what they've got, and then they got these other developers. And right now their struggle is all these developers, 90% of the games they're working on is games that they were working on before they bought them. And people are just like, well, where's something new? Where's this? And then the developers have been working on this game for 2 years. Yeah, it's going to be on the Xbox, but it might also be here. But even if it's just Xbox, we really can't change a whole lot because we've already been doing this. And it's just like people are like, well, where is the big thing outside of Halo?
Chris, if you get a PS4 on Black Friday and you play Spider-Man, it'll be better than any first-party Microsoft game you've ever played. I guarantee it.
I don't know
Big
about
promises.
Dude, I can already see you now. You'll be like, man, I'm just swinging around the city, man. I like it so much.
Spider-Man is fantastic.
Spider-Man,
amazing, you might say.
Yeah, some might say amazing.
Look at that.
Yes.
Good for you, Josh. You're so clever. So handsome, too.
But you want me to play Spider-Man if I get a PS4, but then there's another game y'all were talking about earlier that y'all kept selling me on. It's like, I might play that first.
Oh, don't do that.
Yes.
Do it.
And then Spider-Man just might sit over there and get a little dusty. I'm just like, Death Stranding.
That would be a big mistake.
The other thing, too, is as we go into the next generation of consoles, as Xbox continues to not announce those games, PlayStation they have Ghost of Tsushima lined up. They have Last of Us 2. They just dropped Death Stranding. Again, if you're a PlayStation 4 owner, you're going to be a PS5 owner because the PS4 has left the best taste in your mouth this generation. And as somebody outside looking in, the only thing you can think of is, man, I would love to play those exclusives. So when we go into the next generation, if you have a console choice, you're going to choose the console that gave you what maybe you didn't get to experience because you know there's going to be more of that. There's going to be a Spider-Man 2, a new God of War, another Persona 6. There's going to be another Death Stranding or another Kojima Productions game that's exclusive, a Horizon Zero Dawn 2. I mean, it could go on and on and on.
Ghosts of Tsushima. Gosh, I can't even say that word. That's going to be better than Sekiro. I hope. I didn't play Sekiro, but...
I didn't play it either, so I don't have a comment on that. But it looks Ghost of Tsushima looks fantastic.
Yeah, the flowing, I don't know. I'll play. I wonder if that's gonna be on sale on Black Friday. I might pick that up. Anybody know? Anybody seen it? If that's $35, no. Fuck that shit. No.
Beautiful.
Sekiro.
Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't seen.
I mean,
if that's $35, I'll
seen
pick that up.
yeah, I've seen some people on Twitter, man, talking about that Sekiro. Whenever people talk about Game of the Year, like some people, that's their Game of the Year.
Yeah, I heard if you're into that style and genre of game, I heard it's like top of class. So
Maro finished that game like 3 times.
What?
Yeah, she's a beast.
She's a
That's
savage,
ridiculous.
dude.
That's commitment right there.
There's people that couldn't make it past the first boss.
I probably wouldn't be able to make it past the first boss. But I'm not really big into Dark Souls. I did kind of like Bloodborne, but then I lost the will to go on after it beat me down enough. So that's kind of where I am on that.
Is anybody getting Vampire on the Switch?
Probably not. It is good though.
I don't know if I've heard of that.
It's on
It's
Game
like
Pass.
It's like an action RPG. You can kind of choose your path and be like a good vampire and like heal people, or you could be like
Sparkle?
A Josh
like
Vampire.
Dracula.
Like a Dracula.
Towns,
I understood
massacre.
that reference, Chris. when
Well,
said
you know.
Sparkle.
You want to make an omelet?
I thought you were the Dracula. Were you not the Dracula?
I want to suck your blood.
And on that note, thank you guys for coming by LootCast
Yes.
episode 24. It's been a fantastic show. We appreciate everybody who came by tonight. You guys kept the chat fun, exciting, and interesting. And thank you, LilyPad, for assigning everybody brand new Pokemon names. I personally really enjoyed mine. I'm very excited about that. So thank you, everybody who came into the stream tonight to support what we do. We'll go ahead and do our outros. And we'll wish you guys a very happy Pokemon day. I may be streaming Pokemon Shield after this. I got some coffee lined up.
Maybe.
So if you guys want to,
Maybe.
That means you're gonna be on the CV.
if you guys want
How
to
am I
come
supposed to
back,
play?
if you guys want to come back in about
No.
a cool 30, you guys come by and watch me stream some beginning
No,
hours
guys,
of
tell 'em no.
Pokemon Shield. It's
You're,
gonna be exciting.
you're not gonna stream Death Stranding? I don't understand.
No.
What?
No, we're
Nobody likes that game, bro.
we're
I was sold a bill of
Poketubers.
goods.
Jake, and you're the only uncultured swine on the stream. I don't want to hear
I'm
it.
sorry.
You
I'm
don't
sorry,
appreciate art in America, Jakin.
You like
dude.
those first-person shooters.
Go back to your Calls of Duty.
Yo, I agree. Americans are Trump's our president. So
So Kojima's not wrong, but I also hate the game, is what you're saying.
well, he's not wrong, but I don't. But you know, he can't be
Yeah.
disrespecting us like that. Like I don't fall into the category of what he's talking about. But damn it, keep our name out of your fucking mouth, Kojima.
On that note,
Like
just,
JRPGs.
just transition into your outro, Jake.
Seamless.
As
I'm
he
gonna
puts
go
his-
play Pokemon Sword. Yeah, that's about it.
Beautiful.
I'll see you guys on Thursday when I come out of my cave.
Really, you got cheats
Maybe
like
you'd be like,
that?
hey, this is the Pokemon I got.
I didn't realize you did that.
Yeah, if you guys want to go and subscribe to Jake, and he may stream something on his channel within before the end of the year. So you guys
Probably
definitely
next.
want to head over there.
I can't stream
and
right now because my
subscribe.
TV's broken. So
Oh yeah,
Oh.
you did that.
Oh, I didn't know your house was full of excuses.
I'm probably gonna stream. I might do like just a hangout, like Q&A or something. If people just want to like come into my chat and like BS and we can hang out and stuff. I might do that this weekend because I've been thinking about it.
Oh, we do feel lucky, or we got sloppy seconds. I don't know how to feel about that. Thank you, Kazoo.
I mean, if you got sloppy seconds, you got lucky. You know, hey, at least you.
And on that note, Mr. Chris Levi, thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate you coming through. Please let people know where they can find you and all that good stuff.
It's always a pleasure to be here on the LootCast. Anytime y'all need me, I'm here. Even if I was a little bit later than I wanted to be. You know, it's fun to be here. You know. But anyway, after this, I'm gonna be doing the same thing as Dom. I'm gonna be playing some Pokemon over on my YouTube channel, Chris Levi 13. Go check me out there. I'm gonna be playing probably the first couple hours of Shield. You'll get to see what Pokemon I choose there, and maybe even experience the game if you haven't thought about picking it up yourself. You watch Dom, you watch me, watch somebody else play the game, and maybe you go out there and say, "Hey, I want to get Pokemon now." You know. But other than that, check me out all across social media, YouTube, Mixer, Twitch, wherever. Chris Levi 13. You'll find me playing games, having fun. I even started on a little podcast where sometimes I have guests on there just to kind of talk about games and stuff like this in this format a little bit more often because people were asking for it. So I do that on Wednesdays, and yeah, I'm having fun.
Beautiful. Make sure you guys go subscribe to our friend Chris Levi. His channel is in the chat. And speaking about having fun, girls just want to have fun. Mr. Your Player 2 out there, Death Stranded. Please tell people where they can find you.
Absolutely. You can find me over at youtube.com/yourplayer2 or on Twitter at it's yourplayer2. Been doing the morning streams again. Those have come back. I may not be able to do it tomorrow morning. We'll see. But generally speaking, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern, you can come hang out. We will talk about current events in gaming just for fun. So my own personal taste when it comes to gaming. And then ping pong back and forth between that and also basically, informative or encouraging content for other creators who also do channels that are focused on gaming. That's kind of what my channel is all about. Unlike the rest of these fine individuals, I will not be playing Pokemon tonight because my Best Buy wimped out and decided they weren't going to do a midnight launch because they wanted to upset and disturb Joshua. So I will just continue to be invested in a big way in Death Stranding. I will say I did pick up Jedi Fallen Order, so I will be playing that tomorrow on the channel, probably around 8 o'clock, I would say.
This one or just the basic bitch one?
So it's a combo. I basically got Basic Bitch Plus, and I'm going to explain that. I had to get the regular one because they were out of the deluxe. Mind you, the deluxe is only different because it has objectively worse cover art than the standard edition.
It has an orange lightsaber, my friend.
Right, it does have the orange lightsaber, and it also comes with a nice behind the scenes mini documentary, which is the big draw for me. So I have, unfortunately, this regular version. I got the Xbox that's going to look best on the Xbox One X, presumably. But they upsold me on that digital content for $10. So I get everything that's in that one. I just have the basic bitch one, as Cynthia's pointed out. I will be. But the first opportunity I get, I'm going to take this back to GameStop and swap it with the cover of one that gets traded in because it won't really matter because all the goodies are all digital anyways. So, yeah, the answer somewhere in between. But technically, everything that you have, save for, the actual cover, which is a little bit disappointing. But, yeah, we'll be playing that tomorrow around 8 o'clock. So if that sounds like a fun thing, or if you'd like to hang on the channel, I would appreciate that immensely. If it's not your thing, no hard feelings. All good. I get it. It's not everyone's cup of tea. But thank you for the consideration. And as always, thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure. And a man that knows about many pleasures, Mr. Monopulse, the narrator of the channel.
So weird.
Creepy, but you're not
face
wrong.
made it even better.
No. It's a man that knows me too well. My Friday, I'm not getting months tonight because it's in the mail on the Amazons, and it'll be here tomorrow because I don't give a shit. It'll be here. I'll play it. Maybe we'll do some raid stuff tomorrow. On Monday, definitely going to be playing some on stream. It's going to be the Monopost Monday with the Mons. Say that 10 times fast. And of course, we're going to have Gaming Rewind coming up on Tuesday. Don't miss that. It's going to be fun as shit.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll do what I want. It's my birthday. I don't have anything to do. Go away. Just leave me alone.
Birthday boy. We're gonna rate it up.
Drink and we're gonna raid. Is whatever.
Yeah, big boy, birthday.
Jenkins
okay.
invited.
Well, with that being
Well,
said, your
entertainment.
local friendly neighborhood, not friendly because with the
Friendly
COPPA
neighborhood
stuff,
porters.
with the COPPA stuff, we're not for kids. Make sure if you guys are YouTubers, make sure you go mark your channel not for kids if you ever want to make money again here on the platform. With that being said, you guys can come and watch me play Pokemon.
No.
In a very short little while, come by in the next 30 minutes. Come by and watch me play Pokemon Shield. It's gonna be a fantastic time. And we will be live all weekend on Pokemon. It's gonna be fantastic.